Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sean. Welcome to part 2 of the Squid Game review. If you haven't seen part 1, check it out right here. Of course, spoiler warning. Now, let's begin. Hey, how's it going? What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Fee, I'm from England, and I'm doing great, thanks.
At what point of watching Squid Game did you think to yourself, wow, this is different, this is a really good series?
Probably around episode 3. So as soon as you did understand why they were there and what made them so determined to play, I think that was when I was like, right, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
My name is David and I'm from Canada. When I started watching it, the first one, it sucks you in for sure. I thought the main character was a bit just like a good for nothing person, it seemed like. It's kind of weird now that I'm like on episode 8. I totally have changed my mind about it.
Did you finish 8? Or you?
I finished 7.
Okay. You got 2 big ones ahead of you.
Yeah. Now I'm rooting for him just because in contrast to the other characters, he seems like a good person.
Mm-hmm. My name is Chad. I'm from the United States. So it was great to see someone not Korean speaking Korean almost the entire time throughout their role. I think the only time we saw him speaking a language other than Korean was when he was in the second episode, when he was like going back to his family and speaking with his wife. It was very novel to see a foreigner who spoke almost entirely in Korean throughout the role.
Chad, that is a great point because it really gives a voice to the many foreigners that live in Korea that do speak Korean, that we are trying to become a part of the society.
Right. This isn't the first time that Korean-speaking foreigners have shown up in Korean dramas. Even in Itaewon Class, we have Chris Lyons, who is an American living in Korea, and his Korean is phenomenal. But what I thought was really unique about this one, we actually saw someone from a country that generally when they come to Korea, they get employed in like high-intensity labor positions. Mm-hmm. So we saw in the second episode when he goes back to his boss and asks for his money and everything, like it seems like he's not in the best of working environments.
I'm Evangelina and I'm from the UK. My favorite moment was when all the contestants decided to come back into the game.
Oh.
Because they were given an option to leave. You've had a taste of what it was going to be like, and you're now given, how can I say, a salvation moment to go return back to your old life. Yes, it might not have been that great, but at least you're not facing sudden death,
Yes.
But then to have them come back into the game, being aware of things that could happen, it was just a shock to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would have been able to do that, but I think that's the gripping moment. Yeah.
What parts of the drama do you wish were done a little differently? Things that you didn't like as much?
Not as much detail as I would have liked about the North Korean contestant. We did find out some details later on that she came here with her brother and that they had to leave their parents behind, and even that her father was killed as they were trying to get away. But I do feel like that's not something that gets talked about a lot in South Korea, is the North Korean defector population and how they often have the same sort of struggles in South Korea as maybe the actual foreigner in Korea. They face the same kind of challenges as we do.
For me, the ending, I was not a fan of the ending. I mean, think about it this way.
Okay.
You are literally the bottom barrel of life, gambling away your mom's money, literally just watching life pass you by and not doing anything to change that life, knowing fully well you've got an ill mother and a child, and you're asking your ex-wife for money. But you now have all this money, rather than to accept that your past life is what led you here and to do better by it, by being there for your daughter, by providing for her, by building a relationship with her, you now decide to turn back from her again and then try and fight this, organize this huge organization. Like, how? How can you choose that?
So what you're saying is, after his entire journey, all the episodes, he won.
Yeah, exactly.
He got the money, and he's ready to meet his daughter.
Exactly. And then
and change, and then he just turns back.
Turns back to what he did initially,
and
which
blows
was
off his entire
her.
plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a little bit too complicated. Like the organ stuff and like the pathways going down and the guys with the triangles and the circles, like who's who, and there's like they start taking on a life of their own, and it's just like, I know it's kind of like the whole premise of the show, the whole thing it's not really realistic, but the storytelling is so good that it brings you in. But then when they start going into these basements and there's all this complicated stuff, I'm just like, how can this happen?
Yeah,
And
it's
then- and-
too unrealistic.
It becomes a little bit too unrealistic, and it's like, who could organize all of this? And it kind of breaks it for me a little bit. So I think if they just reeled it back a little bit on that, it would have been better for me.
Who was your favorite character?
I like the guy with the tattoo because I like to hate him. He's the guy you like to hate. I like the main guy. I kind of like the North Korean girl.
I like her too.
Yeah, I like her.
She's got like a cool, mysterious strength to her.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah, she's very
Survivor.
self-sufficient. Yeah.
Survivor, right?
Saebyok is my favorite character.
Save you up. Okay, why?
She had everything to live for, and she still didn't make it, and it hurt. It hurt. I think having her be North Korean, having her trying to look after her little brother, having her gone through everything it takes to defect as a North Korean, and then to have her not have any better quality of life from when she was in North Korea, because she didn't have any friends. People didn't like her. She couldn't really trust anyone. And then to have her manage to get through all of the games, she was really strategic. She was very just herself the whole time. And then, yeah, for her to not make it, it was so painful.
Before the big like plot twist at the end of the show, I think I felt really bad for the old man.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, I think I felt really bad for the old man character and how, especially in the last game that he actually plays, so the game that they play with the marbles, I felt really bad for him in that he purposely started acting as though he didn't know what was going on. Like, and then at the very tail end of the game, he sort of just like reveals like it was all a trick, and you thought it was okay to trick me, an old man, because you thought that I was, you know, just mentally incapacitated. And then him still being like, I forgive you, here's the marble, go. And then you think that he gets killed. I think that was the moment where I was just kind of like, oh, no, it's like to the bitter end, the old man is just like this beacon of virtue.
So you liked him?
I liked him until we find out in the final episode that he was basically behind the whole thing. And
Yeah.
I think that's what one thing that the show did really well, and especially that last plot twist. It went from me really liking the old man character to suddenly like, oh my god, I don't know how to feel about this old man character anymore.
Societal commentary. What do you think the director was trying to communicate? What was the main thing,
The main
to
thing,
you?
inequality, because where Kyun is and where those who watch the games for fun, those who have the money, the huge disparity between them, it's just massive. And I think that's what the director is trying to highlight, the difference in lifestyle. The elites, those who did come to watch the game, they have all the money in the world, but they derive enjoyment from watching those who are of lower ranks, you know, just the
Suffer.
average person just suffer for their own entertainment. This just doesn't make any sense. And those who are just average people, they're just given this little crumb of hope of life, and they're all scrambling towards it and killing each other and fighting for this little tiny little hope. The money that they were given to them is huge, but to the elites it's just like a little something.
I bet the elites, every single one of them, had way more money than the
than
prize
what was given,
money.
yeah. You would have had to have just a ton of money to be able to give it. It's just mind-blowing.
The ruling class, like the elites or the billionaires. I think that's why this thing just went viral around the whole world.
I think that's the reason.
I think that is, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's like a mysterious who's pulling the strings on the top that everyone in the whole world can sympathize with.
Like Illuminati
A
kind
little
of
bit of Illuminati, a little like Satanism, kind of weird rich guys with like naked women parties, just lots of money, lots of power, that kind of thing. The poor get poorer, the rich get richer. I think Parasite also had that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they're talking about that, you know, and these guys get too powerful and then money rules everything, right?
Yeah.
So
A lot of people who come to Korea, especially as expats, they're like, oh, life is really good. Or like, life is very comfortable, it's very easy to get around. But for people who come from like less fortunate circumstances, who get sucked into like migrant work, where it's stupid long hours, underpaid, no safety measures, I think it was really important to show Ali's storyline in like episode 2, episode 3, and sort of like get in there and make him a character that you can really, really root for. Because I think that's one of the things that I really liked about this drama, was that you could actually root for the foreign characters.
Humanized him.
Yeah,
Scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
a solid 8.5.
Pretty high, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's not bad.
It's my favorite in that kind of genre.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.
No worries.
All right, bye.
probably give it like an 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty high. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't
Sure.
think any drama is perfect, but yeah, I think it's among one of my favorite like shorter length Korean dramas. Not like the full ones that are like 16 or 20 episodes, but for being less than 10 episodes, I feel like they did a really great job developing characters and everything.
For sure. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I give it a solid 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I give it
Okay.
a solid 8.
Was this your favorite Korean series or no?
I like Sky Castle better.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Sky Castle better. I haven't seen too many dramas all the way, but I do like that kind of like heavy drama. So it's good, yeah.
Thank you for sharing your opinion.
Anytime, that was a lot of fun.
Cool. All right. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Once again, my name is Sean. Also, if you're currently studying English, definitely check out my channel membership. I provide both English and Korean scripts for all the videos, and silver members get access to videos where you can freely turn captions on and off. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.